298 is the estimate tomorrow for payrolls. The previous number, as you know, just blew up every single narrative out there. 528K was the previous read. Mike McKee's going to break it down for you ahead of tomorrow. Hey, Mike.
John, let me expand on what Taylor was talking about here. You take a look at the unemployment rate, and it is still way below where it has been on average going into recessions. It should be about 4.7%. That's the average since the of the post-war years in terms of where unemployment is when recessions start. We are a long way below that. What is the Fed watching? Well, there are about 5,670,000 people who are unemployed right now. At 4.7% unemployment compared to 3.5% now, that would be 1.5 to 2 million additional jobs lost. But if there are 11.2 million job openings, as Taylor was pointing out, in theory, the Fed believes they could easily find new jobs, the people who are laid off. And so we look at what is going to happen tomorrow, and we want to see, and this is a little bit of a complicated chart, but let me explain it here. The number in yellow is the number of people who have lost their jobs. The blue is the number of job openings, and the white line there is labor force participation, and it has fallen dramatically since the pandemic began. That has to go the other direction to absorb people who are losing their jobs to get them hired. So far, it hasn't. So watch labor force participation tomorrow, and watch the number of people who are unemployed. The Fed thinks that should rise. They don't think it will be a major problem because of the number of jobs out there, but none of that is happening yet, even though they've raised interest rates by 250 basis points this year.
And Mike, what do you make of all this stuff anecdotally that we see from companies cutting jobs, making all these proclamations about what's happening with the labor force, and then you see the data and we're looking at 300K tomorrow, and claims this morning just look fantastic?
It does look, as Taylor was pointing out, like a lot of it is sectoral or company specific. We're going to have to see broader job cuts that have to do with demand falling before we really get an idea of whether it is a company issue or a major national issue.